to be a fucking problem.
The following feature has been rated R by
Timur Radicek.
Parental guidance is suggested. It is intended for mature audiences and parental discretion is advised.
I want to apologize if anyone is offended by this.
I'm going to speak as the expert on funny. Funny people should just be left to trying to be funny.
Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time!
Let's see how fucking committed you are to this premise.
You know what I'm saying. You don't even know what the fuck you saying.
Just be honest. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, here's a joke that's not gonna work.
I'm hardcore. Seriously. No, it's not a joke. There's gonna be a joke coming. There's no fucking joke coming.
Do you know how cocky you gotta be to just pull that out of your ass one day and see if anybody says anything?
Go fuck yourself.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
Kind of sounds like the behavior of a drunk man, really.
This man is fucking drunk. You look like you smell like pee. Bitch, I live in a fucking trash can.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast. Fuck you!
What's going on, everybody? I'm Timur Radicek. Welcome back to the Laugh or Else podcast. Today I've got some fantastic stuff lined up for you. It might be a bunch of comedians you may never have heard of, or maybe you have. Who am I to say? So make sure you stick around for that. I've also got some fantastic commercials lined up for you. One by a fellow classmate of mine. He's a creative genius. Well, I don't know about genius, but he's really good. He knows what he's doing. He's very artistic, and I think his commercial here is worth a play. Also, there's a CBS kind of PSA that's going around here in Chicago that features Joan Rivers. You guys might get a pretty good laugh at. If you know how old Joan Rivers is and what she's done for the comedy community, you know that this is going to be funny. So let's get to those right quick, and then we'll come back and I'll get into who we got lined up for today's episode. Thanks for sticking with me. This is Timur Radicek for the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or Else.
It's a Saturday night. You're out there fist pumping and double fisting. Your drinks, of course, but none of those honeys want to show you some love. Well, I've got the answer for you, my friends. Sex Panther. Sex Panther is a cologne that was made for you, Wildcat. Scientists have been working on this tantalizing scent for ages, and now are ready to release the beast. Take Dan over here. Dan has a good job, always treats everyone right, but on the relationship side of things, it's just a struggle. But tonight, we are sending him out with a sample of our madness. Well, here we go. Let's hope this kitty purrs sprints.
Oh, you smell so good. Oh, is that Old Spice? Let's just leave right now and go. It's Sex Panther.
Don't worry, honeys. There's enough of this cat to go around. Well, there you go, folks. If you would like to be like Dan, order your very own Sex Panther today.
The Sex Panther is in the building.
Sex Panther. Release the beast.
Fuck you!
We now take you to the Sunny Cove Retirement Home in Boca Raton.
Hey, sweetheart, you want to dance?
Scram, buddy. I'm a 78-year-old grandmother. I don't dance.
Well, I'm 82, and the way I see it, sugar, you may be 78, but you got the body of a 70-year-old. Want to come back to my room, do some necking?
I don't think it's my neck you're interested in.
I've got a driver's license.
A driver's license? Do they let you drive at night?
Sure do, and my kids allow me to stay up all night. Now, will you come back to my room?
Maybe. I love a man with thick glasses.
I have an even thicker pair in my room.
Do you have protection?
Of course. In fact, I'm wearing adult diapers right now.
I mean a prophylactic.
I don't have a prophylactic, but I have a condominium.
Even better.
We interrupt this romantic moment with an important message. There's an increasing rate of AIDS infections in retirement communities. You didn't think they were just playing golf and bingo, did you? Talk to your parents and grandparents about safe sex. CBS cares.
All right, welcome back. There's something to be said about the old folks' retirement homes and the spreading of sexually transmitted diseases. I don't know what to say about it, but maybe you can come up with some ideas. If you got something funny to say, hit me up on the Laugh or Else Podcast Facebook fan page, or you can get at me on the Twitter. My name is @Timmer, @TIMM_3R. All right, so let's get into today's show. I got a bunch of great stuff lined up for you today, like I said, but it's going to be kind of obscure comedians that you may not have heard of. I mentioned one that I'm going to play first here. He tells a story called The Machine. His name is Bert Kreischer. He's a frequent guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. He's just released one of his Comedy Central stand-up specials. I don't know exactly what the name of it is, but just Google the Comedy Central presents specials and you look for his name. It's Bert Kreischer. And right now he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and how he is as a parent. So let's get right into that on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or Else.
I go back to be a parent at the beginning of this week, so let's do this now the right way. So this is how you leave Amsterdam. Yeah, I'm daddy on duty the second I get back. I have two daughters. I try to raise them the best I can. Hey, I'm not a great dad. Well, after hearing this, you're like, you're the fucking world's worst dad. But the other day, let's just say what happened. I farted into a McDonald's cup, okay? So I walked it over to them, because they're 5 and 7. They don't fucking know. So I was like, girls, you're never going to believe this. I just caught a fairy. Their eyes lit up. They were like, you have a fairy? You have a fairy? And I'm like, there was a second where I felt like a dick. I'm like, is this the right thing to do? But I have them so good, I'm like, fuck it, let's go. So I show it to them, and they're like, I don't see your fairy. I don't see your... Yeah. And they started crying. But that's your job as a parent, is to explain why that's funny. I had to sit him down and go, guys, that makes Daddy happy. Because you didn't see it coming. You thought it was a fairy, but it was a fart. That's comedy. That is misdirection and a surprise. And they're like, you made us eat a fart. I was like, you didn't eat it. It was just thick because it was behind some business. So I take him inside. These bitches snitch on me. They tell my wife, they're like, Daddy made us eat farts. I'm like, no, that sounds weird. That's not what happened. My wife's like, they're little girls. I'm like, raise them as equals, and they will survive in this world as equals. And let me tell you something. The next morning, when they woke me up at 5 in the fucking morning, with Isla, the young one, the 5-year-old, sitting on my throat, George is right next to my ear going, Daddy, wake up. Daddy, wake up. Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. Now I'm having a dream that 2 Native Americans broke into my cabin. I open my eyes, and I see this little thumb sucker staring at me going, Daddy, guess what's in my hand? I know what it is. You know what it is? Right off the bat, I was like, it's a fart. She's going to get me back, right? A little palm balm. Do you guys do that here? Oh, if you don't, you should start. It's fucking brilliant. Am I really breaking this to you guys? Oh, you do it. You do it. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, not girls, guys. I don't fucking expect you to be like, hey, smell my ass. So, but I know what it is, and I'm going to let her get me. I'm going to let her, that's what a good parent would do. So I go, I don't know. I'm going to play dumb. What is it, baby? And Isla looks at me and goes, a punch in the mouth. Bam! And I did not see that shit coming. I don't know what look I made, but these 2 morons fall on the ground and started laughing their tits off. Just, is it funny? I was like, it will be when we do it to your mom.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Oh, welcome back. So I just noticed that I cut that clip a little short. In the beginning of that clip, he's chugging a 12-ounce beer out of a cup, so there's kind of a visual element to that joke in the beginning. Who gives a shit? It's he's hilarious. Check him out, Bert Kreischer. Moving along, I got another comedian that I'm really starting to enjoy. He's a frequent guest on the You Know What Dude podcast with Bobby Kelly. He's also been on Letterman, Conan. He's been on, I think, but he's starting to become a household name. And this is Dan Soder, also known as Monster Voice. Now he's gonna talk to you about touching emotional videos that you find on the internet. Those ones about like animals or babies, it kind of heartwarming things that make you tear up a little bit. Well, not me, because I'm a big badass, I don't cry at anything. I could fall off a building and just walk it off. But that's me, So anyway, here's Dan Soder and his stories about those touching emotional videos. Check it out right here on the Laugh or Else podcast. I'm Tim Radicek.
Laugh
or else.
Truth be told, I don't trust anyone under the age of 19. They grew up with the internet. You can't trust anyone that grew up with the internet. You had to do most of your formative years without the internet for me to trust you. Because as a man, if you grew up with the internet, that means to me you never earned a jerk. That's exactly what that means. It means that you did not work for a nut. I'm the last bastion of, I got AOL in the mail. 6th grade. So perfect timing. But earning a jerk, kids now can just Google asshole blossom. And they'll know what that is. Used to be, if you wanted to learn about that, you had to go through several red VHS tapes. I'm a little bitter because earning your jerk means a lot to me. I used to have to fucking wait for a free weekend of HBO and then study the TV guide. I was on trial for murder, and that's the loophole out of this. I'd be like, Bikini Island, 3 a.m., that's where we'll do it. That's where I'll touch my dick to a titty. That's all it's about, just touching your dick to a titty in motion. That's all you want to do. Stay up till 3 a.m., fight and sleep like some fucked up jerk-off boot camp. And just thinking I'm going to see a titty, and then waking up 4 hours later in a sleeping bag in the living room, very angry. There's just some televangelist on the TV that's like, oh, Lord, what happened? There is no God. My balls are still full. It doesn't do it for me anymore. Porn doesn't do it. Doesn't get me off. Doesn't. I don't like it. You know what my new thing is? Now I watch emotionally moving videos on YouTube until I cry. Yeah. But I don't call it crying, because that makes it sound weak. I call it face coming. It's an orgasm for your soul. Why don't you try it? So yeah, I could go online and watch 2 chicks blow a dude. I could do that and touch myself like a caveman. Or I can go online and watch 2 animals that are friends that shouldn't be friends. I don't know why that sick elephant and that golden retriever get along. But my chest is tight. I might bust a face nut. Go ahead, watch people bang it out online. Good for you, watching that simple shit. I'll be watching soldiers surprise their families. Yeah, it's not the opposing catcher. That's your dad who's in Iraq. Why don't you hug on the pitching mound? I'm going to face come all over my keyboard. It's always the same, too. When you jerk off to porn, at the end, it's always the same. You're just like, why did I do that? It's so gross. But when you face come to a real... Watch a kid with Down syndrome read an acceptance letter into college. If that doesn't move you, you're a monster. You're a fucking monster. And then face come all over yourself, and then when you're done, you're like, there's some good in the world.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
That was Dan Soder and his remarkable tales of face coming. Yes, and it's as funky as it sounds. Dan Soder is one of the better comedians out there right now. So if he's in your area, go check him out. If he's in anything that's on television, make sure to check it out. I mean, like, you know, the late night talk shows or whatever. I don't know about his own stand-up specials yet. I think he's working on a half-hour special for Comedy Central, but you'll have to double-check the internet for that. All the comedians I follow on Twitter, there's just so much I can read in a day before it starts pushing information out, you know? So we touched on parenting a little bit with Bert Kreischer earlier on. This next comedian is going to talk a little bit about parents, and you may or may not have heard of him. His Comedy Central special aired about last year, and that's when I first kind of fell into who he is and started to like all the things he does. You're going to find a lot of material out there of him where it's a few of the same jokes, but that's what happens with the internet. Like, you go on YouTube and check his name out. His name is Dov Davidoff. That's D-O-V Davidoff. You know, like David Hasselhoff was mushed together to make his last name. So check him out on YouTube. He's got a few clips out there, nothing too lengthy, and I tried to pick something that was funny but kind of short at the same time. So check him out. Dov Davidoff, right here on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or else.
I think what we're all asking one another is, why do gay guys often look like they just smell cookies? Did somebody just make? It's like, no, you're gay, there's no cooking. I love the gay man. I don't know, I was walking around the casino earlier and I saw people with kids. See all these kids walking through. I'm like, could people cool it with the kids? Not everybody has to have a kid. Not everybody. If you're not psychologically outfitted to raise a child, cool it, because you're just burdening everybody else with your issues. I'm walking around this casino and the kids are there looking at a slot machine next to his mother. It's like, must everybody have a kid? Is traffic not bad enough? They're chopping down forests all over the world to make room for more people. You know what I mean? In China, there's limited room for panda bears. I don't want to live in a world without pandas. Every time you have a baby, a panda dies. Cool it with the kids, man. You know what I mean? And then everybody's like, my friend just had a kid. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, you got to try it. It's like, do I have to try it? Is that something I should try? What's it, a new kind of weed? What if I don't like it? Can I put it out? Nah, he's messing up in school. You take him. What do you mean, try it? And then everybody goes, oh, I didn't plan on it. I didn't plan on having a kid. I just wish somebody would plan this out once in a while. Nobody ever bought an animal without planning on it. I never been walking home with a horse, and my landlord is like, hey, you live in a one-bedroom. I'll be like, my bad, I didn't plan this purchase out right. Come on, Trigger. I know the elevator's a little small. We're gonna have to fit. I didn't plan it right. Stop it, man. Can't we have a screening process? Just some sort of basic questionnaire. You wanna have a baby? Fill it out. Are you a complete screw-up? Yeah? No babies for you, man. No babies. And then everybody's like, how do we define who's a screw-up and who's not? Let's start here. Are you in and out of prison on methamphetamine-related felonies? You are? No babies for you. You know? And by the way, if you take the Bible or the Quran literally, word for word, no babies for you either. And you know who else? If you think Red Lobster is a legitimately good restaurant, I like it too, but no babies for you. It's just that everybody's celebrating. Everybody gets caught. Everybody's celebrating Mother's Day and Father's Day, and that's great. We should celebrate it. That's a hard job. But can we also celebrate a day of self-restraint? A day where somebody just said to themselves, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not gonna burden the world with my issues. Can we have a national pull-out day? Just, Have a good life, everybody. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Dov Davidoff right here on the Laugh or Else podcast, and I gotta kind of agree with him. I think people should be quizzed before they take on the responsibility of being a parent. Lord knows that parents out there are getting younger and younger, and that means they're not as in tune with the world as they could be before trying to bring another life form into this existence. It's not easy. Anybody with more than one kid knows that. And if you got one kid and you barely can pay the rent, before you have that kid, you're going to be super screwed. So maybe Davidoff here is right, and you should probably be quizzed and certified before having babies, you know? Don't bring your burdens into this world for other people. All right, so moving right along. This next guy, he's starting to grow infamous. He's been on a number of shows, including Joe Rogan Experience. But this guy's name is Hannibal Buress. He's one of the best. Right now, he's probably in the top 10 of working comedians. His delivery is just so unique, and his premises are just beyond the simple, like, you know, you ever been waiting in a line at the bank and blah, 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 or you ever been on an airplane? I'm going to let him tell us a little bit about his experience in New Orleans. This is awesome, and it's great. It's from a live recording he did at the Vic Theater here in Chicago. Check it out. Right here on the Laugh Roast podcast, it's Hannibal Buress.
Laugh
or Else.
It's a good city, though. It's a beautiful city. Good music, good food, good partying. So a little while ago, we decided to throw my cousin's bachelor party there. I'm the best man. I'm in charge of the party. That's a big responsibility. I wanted to be cool, because I've been to some shitty bachelor parties where this dude's got a hotel room and 2 strippers, an iPod dock, and a couple bottles of liquor, and it's not even a suite. It's just a double rooms, and it's just dudes and strippers and liquor and yelling, and that's the bachelor party. Oh shit, son, the bachelor's putting his face in the stripper's ass. Whoa! Whoa, where'd that ping pong ball come from? Yeah! We know where that ping pong ball came from. And we did the stripper thing on another night, but I wanted to do something unique to New Orleans. And one of my friends said, Hannibal, you should hire a second line to follow you through the street. I said, what is that? He said, second line is a band, mostly brass instruments. You can hire them to follow you through the street. So basically in New Orleans, for $300, you can have your own parade on a day's notice. I said, this sounds great. How do I do this? You gotta go to the police station. They have a parades department. New Orleans police has a parades department. There's homicide, there's narcotics, and there's parades. There's other departments too, but you know, rule of 3 for comedy. So I go to the police station. How I want to throw a parade? How many people in your parade? 5 of us. All right, 5 people. Do you need help making a route for your parade? Yeah, I need help making a route. I'm not from here. This is your city. This is not my city. This policeman in full uniform starts helping me make a route for a 5-person parade. And was real nice about it. Okay, you don't want to hit Bourbon Street too fast. You probably want to start on Canal Street, Fairyland, and you work your way towards Bourbon Street. You get on Iberville, so people on that street will probably join your parade. Because strangers just join your parade, that's part of it. Somebody's walking by themselves. Oh, that looks like a very accessible parade right there. I'm gonna jump in that, I'll walk with them for a few blocks. It's way safer than walking alone. And I can walk with a band behind me, that's the best iPod ever. So now we're set. We got the band booked, we got our route. Next day after dinner, we go to that corner. Waiting for us there is the band and a 3-piece police escort. Because in New Orleans, for $300, you can fuck up traffic on a day's notice. The streets are yours for a very small price, and we just start walking around. That's all you do is walk around. Band behind you, police in front of you. It's the best way to walk around. I've been walking around since 1983, and this is the most fun I had doing it, by far. Of course, you gotta get drinks, so I stop at a bar. Hey, give us 5 Jameson ginger ales to go. Fuck this place, we got a goddamn parade happening outside. Not hanging out in here. Do you see the energy out there, sir? Then when we get outside with the drinks, one of the cops says, man, why'd you get drinks? You should have just bought a whole bottle of liquor beforehand. A policeman said that. That's a direct quote from a uniformed New Orleans police officer. I'm so glad I don't live there, because if I did, all I'd do was drink, gamble, and throw parades for myself all the time. Is that him again? Yeah, 6:30 on Monday. That's Hannibal time right there. I don't know why he does it on Monday. That seems like a weekend thing, and he does it so early. That's weird.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Welcome back. Hannibal Buress talking about his experience in New Orleans, and it seems like the second line or personal parade is something that only a drunk person would think about. Like, how drunk do you have to be where you're sitting around thinking, you know what would be better than just drinking? Having a parade follow me as I'm drinking through the streets and detouring traffic from every major function in the city. And that's New Orleans, to sum it up. I mean, you could drink, you could take your booze to go as long as it's in a cup with a straw. Mardi Gras is out of control. Like, every video I've ever seen of Mardi Gras is either people getting naked or people fighting, and then there's stories about people losing their kidneys to some voodoo bullshit or hex out there. So I don't know if that's something I'd be into, but maybe, you know, spring breakers would dig that type of shit. I would have probably done it 15 years ago when I was in, you know, my early 20s. But no, booze just doesn't sit well with me anymore. I'm not I don't go out looking to get drunk. I just kind of, you know, if somebody's having a party, I'll have a couple of beers, but that's about it. Because I've watched people when they drink. I'm more of a social observer when I'm out at a bar, and I see the guys that are like super sloppy drunk, drooling on themselves, trying to hit on women, and ultimately end up getting smacked in the face. That's not the kind of guy I want to be. And when you're drunk, and then when you're beyond drunk, it's not like you can control your inhibitions, you know, like you lose them all, and then all of a sudden you think you could do whatever you want and say the things that make you cool, but really you're just mumbling some nonsense to somebody who doesn't want to hear it. So keep that in mind next time you're out and you're doing that 17 shot of Jägermeister. It's not going to work out. You're going to end up in a gutter somewhere, puke all over yourself. It's not going to be pretty. So let's move on. Enough about the alcoholics in New Orleans. But check out Hannibal Buress. He's got a new live special out there. I mean, all these guys are pretty, they're doing their touring right now. So if they're coming to your city, make sure you go and check them out. Support the comics, get out there, laugh, live it up a little bit. Make sure you got a couple of friends with you and tell them, you know, look, check this out. This is funny. And if you don't think so, you're fucking stupid. No, don't tell your friends that, because then they probably won't be your friends. But here's a guy, John Madden would say. The next guy coming up for you is, he's been around for a good number of years. He was on, I can't remember who it was that put together there was a film where a bunch of comedians toured around in a bus, and this guy was one of those comedians. His name is John Caparulo. He's also got a new special out right now, so I advise you to go check that out. I mean, these guys, go to their websites and pay the $5 to see it. It's better than waiting for it for Comedy Central or whatever distribution center is going to pick them up and pay them a few grand and then own the rights to their special. No, forget it. Go to their website, do them a solid, and check them out. Give the donation, do whatever the cost is. It's usually $5. I think Louis C.K. started that whole kind of self-distribution model for $5. And it's really catching on because these guys are getting the attention they deserve. And if you're complaining about how come you haven't heard any female voices yet, it's because I've got a whole second show lined up with other comedians that I couldn't fit all in one show. So stay tuned for next week. It'll be a follow-up episode to more comedians you should know. But right now, let's get into John Caparulo and his stuff from Just for Laughs. I don't know what year it's from, but it's kind of dated materials, and it's pretty popular stuff. So check it out right here on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or else.
How are you? Good. All right. Yeah. Everybody's such a know-it-all. You know, I'm sick of people who read. Because they think they know everything, all right? And there's some stuff I just don't want to know, all right? I don't care. Like, everybody I know is a nutrition expert now, and that's fine, all right? If you want to be on a health kick, fine, all right? If you want to live to your 190, fine, all right? If that involves no butter, fuck off, all right? I like butter, all right? Don't ruin butter. Butter's good. I'll put butter on Skittles, all right? I don't care, all right? Leave butter alone. Like, I can't eat fast food anymore. Remember when McDonald's was fun? Hey, you go to McDonald's? Yay, McDonald's. Not now. Now it's a guilt trip. You know what's in that? Goodness? I don't know. I don't care, all right? I'm not doing research on a sandwich, all right? If you pull into McDonald's, you pretty much decided, you know what? The hell with my 70s, all right? I don't care, all right? I don't That's not even real cheese. Well, it's playing the part, all right? So if it ain't cheese, it's cheese's stunt double, all right? Leave my lunch alone, all right? I don't need abs, dude, all right? I need salt and pickles and stuff, all right? And a Coke, all right? And that bothers me, too, all right? I don't know if you have this problem in Canada. I am sick of this. Here's my political crusade, all right? It's 2006. Can we just get along? Can we just have Coke and Pepsi in the same building? Is it that big a deal? Do we have to draw a line everywhere? Yeah, exactly. Every time I go to a restaurant, what would you like to drink? Can I have a Coke? Oh, is Pepsi okay? Is Monopoly money okay? Because no, all right? Stop pushing stuff nobody wants, all right? Stop pushing stuff nobody likes, all right? Like orange popsicles. Nobody likes them, all right? Put the grape and the cherry in there and seal the box, all right? Nobody likes the orange, all right? Orange ain't gonna catch on, all right? Nobody likes it. Because that's what happens. You eat the grape and the cherry first and all you got left is orange. And then the mom's not gonna buy new popsicles because why didn't you finish the last box? Because all we got is punk-ass orange, all right? That's why I need the last box, because orange sucks. Well, I'm not buying new popsicles. Well, there goes my whole freaking summer then, doesn't it? I'm saying, I wish I talked about more important stuff. Like, I wish I could tell jokes, like, about the president, but I don't know shit. Is that bad? Like, I don't care. People guilt trip me all the time. Shoot, Bush said today, did you see his speech? No. How could you miss that? I guess I got more channels than you do, dude, because... It was not Nickelodeon, all right? I don't care, all right? I'm watching SpongeBob, all right? Shut up. I don't care, dude. I watch dumb stuff on TV. I get pulled in, you know? I get pulled in by Discovery. They own me, dude. You know what they get me with is Loch Ness every time. Loch Ness, searching for Loch Ness again. And I know I'm going to be disappointed at the end of the show. Every show ends the same way. We didn't find anything, all right? I haven't been watching anything for a while. You ever have this problem? My cable went out like 6 weeks ago, and I'm screwed. You ever had this problem? The cable goes out, and the cable company just doesn't care? I called them. I'm like, yeah, I got fuzz. Can you do something? Well, we can't come out tonight. We can come out on Monday between 10 a.m. and Thursday. You're going to be home? Then they ask you dumb questions, too. Like, you ever get on the phone with customer service and they ask you the dumbest stuff possible? Is your TV plugged in? I will freaking stab you, all right? I swear to God. Who unplugs the TV ever? You plug it in once and it stays that way till you move, all right? Nobody unplugs the TV. I gotta go. That's my time. Thanks, you guys. Thanks.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
That's John Caparulo right here on the Laugh or Else podcast, and all those jokes you can hear in their entirety from his comedy specials called Meat Cap. That's M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T, like, you know, meat cap. That's kind of gross. I don't even want to go there. Coming up now, since there's been a lot of stuff in the news about racial issues, you know, the Donald Sterling, owner of the Clippers, saying that crazy shit he said on tape, which probably is illegal. Don't know how that's going to turn out for him, but I'm guessing he's going to beat that case for the fact that he was taped illegally in his own home. Plus, he was a lawyer, so he's probably got all the defenses ready to, if they force him to try to sell a team. All this speculation about that bullshit, I don't give a shit. Like, some old bastard said some dumb shit. Big deal. The only thing is he owns a basketball team, and this isn't the first time that he's been out there spewing this nonsense. He's been doing it for the last 30 years. People in the NBA from way back, he was sued for ethnically cleansing his apartment buildings. It's just ridiculous. And then there's that other Yahoo out there in Las Vegas, the rancher. So that brings me to the next comedian. He's a Southern boy. His name is Reginald D. Hunter, and he's going to talk about racism and its current state. It's not secluded. There's racism all over the place. It could be a man, it could be a woman, black, white, Asian. There's racism everywhere. You look hard enough, you're going to find it. But I try to ignore it. But it makes for good comedy. So let's check out Reginald D. Hunter right here on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or Else.
Back in Georgia recently, and I was there, and just my family and friends, when I got there, first thing they do, especially the ones that ain't seen me in a long while, first thing they want to do is ask me about Britain. First question. A lot of white people? I bet there's a lot of white people over there. A lot of white people? I bet there's a lot of white people. A lot of white people? And I say, man, this is where they make white people, man. It's like white people's Africa. And then, of course, the next obvious question, is it racist? I bet it's racist over there. A lot of racism? I bet it's racist. Racism over there? I bet it's a lot. And I say, yeah, there's some racism over there. A fair bit, actually. Anytime, anywhere on the planet, you got two different groups of people or more occupying the same patch of ground, it's going to be some racism. But Britain has more of a class issue. And I had to explain to them, a class system is what you use to discriminate against people who look like you. It's genius, man, fucking genius. Back in the States, we still use that old-fashioned color thing, but over here, state-of-the-art discrimination. And then, of course, they always ask me, any Mexicans over there? Yeah, but they call them Polish people. So yeah, there you go. And just, I love my family and everything, but just, I go home and it's a different world. Challenging ideas. Like, for instance, one thing that's real divisive in America is talking about President Obama. People either on one side or the other. And just, the people, there's a group of people that hate everything that Obama does. You know that sort of right-wing, Tea Party, Fox News group of people, they hate everything he do. He could chew some gum and throw it on the ground and they go, see, I told you he's socialist. But there's another group of people, and they love Obama. My sisters, my black community, they love everything he does. Everything. And it goes the other way. Like my sisters, they love that imagery. Black man in the White House with a black woman. It's like the Kennedys in black. Just, it's lovely to them. And I get it. It's very romantic. But they don't really pay attention to policies or what's really going down. And I was talking to my dad, and we were just chatting. And then I just said, well, he said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay. He ain't. Said he was going to shut down them 2 wars, open up a third. And I'm just saying, is he ever going to do something he say he going to do? And my sister broke in, and she was mad. She was like, excuse me, you just like them people on Fox. Barack Obama is doing wonderful things for black people. What you do for black people? I said, well, I try not to eat fried chicken in front of white people. You know, we all do what we can, you know? Thank you, sweetness. I sure appreciate it. That's why men get into show business, baby.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Reginald D. Hunter, everybody, on the Laugh or Else podcast. Welcome back. He's got a few good things to say there. Well, not about the racism part, except he does talk a little bit about classism, which is a problem all over the world. And he's exactly right. It's a way to hate on people like you that just don't make enough money or don't have the accessibility as you, the same, you know, as you do. That's not right either. Like, you know, you're discriminating against another person just because they're different than you. He also makes a good point in the politics. Like in the arena of politics, there's always like diehard fans of a certain politician that just mindlessly follow whatever it is, the television or, you know, their whatever the talking heads of the news stations tell them. Like, they can do no wrong on one channel, but on the other channel, it's like he's nothing but wrong. And it's a good observation, and I think that needs to be investigated a little more, and it's probably not in the realm of funny, but, you know, people should really pay attention to what's going on out there. So moving along, I'm going to bring it home to Chicago with this next comedian. I don't know if he's exactly from Chicago, but he's made a name for himself out here. In fact, one of the people I used to work with had gone to college with him, and he said he was funny on campus there. He got into the papers every once in a while with some of his stories, and I really believe he's worth listening to. He's one of the better ones out there today. You can check him out on his Comedy Central special. It's called Whiskey Icarus. This is Kyle Kinane on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh
or Else.
Oh, good evening. Okay. I'm not a sad comic, I'm happy. I discovered the key to happiness. It's pretty easy. You just need to loosen up your definition of what a miracle can be. That's all. Everybody's always going real top shelf with miracles. You know, always like, what's a miracle? I don't know, like a statue that cries blood or something. Turn it down. Turn it way down. All a miracle is the universe letting you know it can still surprise you. That's all it is, letting you know it can still do something that you never thought of. I experienced a miracle recently. A miracle that I experienced was I burnt my laundry. Now, I should have been pissed, but I didn't even know that you could do that. Do you understand that feeling? I was just at the laundromat holding a meteorite of my favorite t-shirts that I should have been upset about, except instead I was overcome with a sense of wonderment. Just looking at everybody else like, did you know this could even happen? I put the same coins in the same machines as everybody else. You all got fresh laundry. I created a new element for the universe. That was followed by another half hour of me just yelling out, I am the alchemist! And then that's when the police were called. I'm feeling my age. I'm 37. There are some physical elements that I'm encouraged, but I don't feel, like physically it doesn't feel bad. Like I do, like when I wake up in the morning, my bones sound like the last 15 seconds of microwavable popcorn. So that's a new one. That first walk to the bathroom is just like pop, 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 pop. Shake the bag a little. Pop, 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 pop. All right, we got him. There's some physical, like my hairline is receding. But that's not new. You know, what's new is my gums found out and said, sounds cool. It's interesting to find out how the body communicates with itself, you know? I I don't feel too bad about it. It's more mental things that are screwing with me. You know, like weird mental things that are slipping. Like I'll just read signage out loud. You got to that point in your life? Just alone in the car, nobody even around, just going, Nando's. Why? There's no reason for that. It's like my brain is just running diagnostic checks on everything else. Hey, can you read that? Good. Can you say it? All right, all systems go. Wheels up on this baby. Oh my God. I threw money in the trash. I don't know how old you have to be to get Alzheimer's. I threw money in the garbage. I wanted a snack. I was driving. I got hungry, so I stopped at a gas station for a snack. I wanted pistachio nuts, which is already an old person snack. Any shelled nut is a senior citizen's wet dream. Because you gotta earn the snack. They don't just give it to you. My age, you fought for your snacks. Pistachio nuts, that's the closest I'm ever gonna get to hand-to-hand combat. Is the 3 seconds it takes to fight open a pistachio nut like it's got secrets I need. You know, you come here. So I get my pistachio nuts, I'm walking out of the gas station, I got pistachio nuts in one hand, change from the pistachio nuts in the other hand. I walk by a garbage can, some of my head just goes, sometimes you put stuff in those. Before the thought is even complete, I've already released the contents of my right hand. Like I hypnotized myself. Sometimes you put stuff in these, sometimes I put stuff in these. And then I sat there. You ever do something and you know it was stupid, but you're not sure what it was? So you gotta read. I just stood there like, what'd you do? Look at what you did, what'd you do? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go get it because you can't throw out money, it's a sin. I don't know, I've never read the Bible, I don't know. But I realized I can't go get it because the guy from the gas station's been staring at me this whole time. Probably first off, because I'm the youngest guy to ever buy dusty pistachio nuts from him. But now I'm out here throwing money away like some sort of eccentric billionaire who lives on a mansion in the hill but still gets all his meals from the gas station twice a day. Like I come down with a top hat and a monocle, get my dirty nut snacks, but then walk out like, only folding money for me, my good man. I throw my coins into the rubbish barrel. That's where the peasants will be trolling for scraps later anyway. It's actually quite charitable on my part. Ta-ta! Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Kyle Kinane, everybody, a Chicago native and a very funny guy. He's also one that's rising in stock out there. You catch him on Conan, he'll be on Letterman, he'll be on Jimmy Fallon at some point. I don't know what the deal is with Jimmy Fallon. I really don't watch the show, so I don't know like who his guests are, but they all seem like A-list celebrities. He doesn't really involve himself with like the lower grade celebrities. Like Amy Schumer's been on his show and she was hilarious, but 2 years ago he wouldn't have probably had her on there before her show. Like, I don't know, Amy's just been super funny and she's doing the things on Comedy Central that need to be done as far as sketch comedy goes. And she's employing all her friends in the comedy world, so you get a chance to check out other comedians like Jim Florentine or Jim Norton or Bobby Kelly has even been on there. So check that out and make sure you look out for Kyle Kinane if he's in your area. He's a great guy to go see. And speaking of him, I seen him do a clip on The Nerdist. The Nerdist has a channel on YouTube where Paul Provenza hosts a show called Comedy Without a Net. Now, the idea here is to get random stand-up comedians, you know, decent ones, I guess, and give them a set to do where they are clueless to what materials they're given. So on the screen with them, or on the stage with them, is a screen, and they kind of just throw little sayings at them, and they got to go on and make it funny. And other than Kyle Kinane, you'll see Liza Schleisinger on there. Greg Proops was on there, who is the most, probably the definitive off-the-cuff improv comedian out there. Like, Greg Proops is above and beyond everybody else because of what he's done on Whose Line Is It Anyway over the last 15, 20 years. I don't know if it's been that long, but he was doing it in Europe when the show was just European, way back in the day before Drew Carey and CBS bought the rights to do it here. And it was a much funnier show then. I mean, the humor, like, you can go back and watch it now, and the humor's kind of different. Like, some of the things we don't get out here, especially like the foods they eat or the names they call certain things, like the bathroom, they'll call it the loo, or your pants, they call them something else, your knickers. I said knickers with a CK, all right? So don't get it confused. But I'm going to go, speaking of which, I'm going to get into a white comedian. His name is Neal Brennan. And he's going to talk about being part of growing up as somebody who listened to rap or hip hop in the 90s. And anybody who's listened to classic hip hop, which it is classic now, 20 years ago it is classic, they know that it was the most gangster it ever was back in the day. So check it out. This is Neal Brennan from his most recent, I think his only stand-up special. It aired on Comedy Central, and it's about him and his black friends. So check it out right here on the Laugh or Else podcast.
Laugh or else.
Like I said, I got a lot of black friends, and white people, I have actual black friends. And I know a lot of white people like to think you have black friends, but you're not really friends with somebody unless you can yell at them and they can yell at you back. So a lot of white people have two standards for your white friends and your black friends. If one of your white friends screws up, you'll get legitimately pissed and be like, dude, what the fuck? But if one of your black friends screws up, you immediately go into human resources mode, like Malik. Malik, your behaviors made me very uncomfortable. I think going forward, we need to be more cognizant. I've drawn up a PowerPoint. Boop. Plus, I'm a hip-hop kid, so I've been messing with the N-word since NWA. That was the big one. Yeah. Yeah. NWA, if you don't remember them, they were a rap group. They were straight out of Compton. It was Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, a couple other dudes. All right, so Eazy-E died of AIDS. Hilarious. Dr. Dre doesn't make music anymore, just makes headphones. And Ice Cube just makes these shitty-ass family movies. I actually had a movie idea for Ice Cube where Ice Cube from 1989 travels forward in time and beats the fuck out of Ice Cube today. Do it. All right. So if you don't know what NWA stood for, it stood for Niggas with Attitude. Now, the way I always felt about it, once they had the N, they kind of didn't need the WA. The N did most of the heavy lifting for them. No one's ever like, sir, there's some niggas here to see you. Do they have attitude? I'm afraid they do, sir. Shit! Also, I get called the N-word every day. Thanks, fellas. No, I get called the N-word. No, I get called the N-word every day. Text, phone, person, constantly. My black friends constantly call me the N-word. It's so bad, and it's been going on for so long, that I call myself the N-word when no one's around. I'll be in my car around lunchtime and I'll be like, nigga, you need to eat. Who are you talking about? I remember when my black friends first started calling me the N-word. Let's face it, it was pretty exciting. But also it was confusing because they were doing it to make me feel like a part of the group, but it actually had the opposite effect because I couldn't say it back to them. So it just made me feel that much whiter, you know? I'd walk up to the group and they'd be like, what's up, nigga? And I'd be like, hello! then finally one day I just asked them, like, hey, fellas, can I start saying it back? So they had a meeting. And I got approved. Yeah. Thank you very much. They said I'm one of 6 white people that's ever been approved, 3 of whom Beastie Boys. All right. So now I could say it, but I forgot I could only say it around brothers I was friends with, because a couple weeks later, walking down the street, I'm listening to my iPod. A song called the Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear remix comes on. All right, a lot of people know. For the rest of you, Biggie is on this song, Notorious B.I.G. Puffy's friend. Biggie's first line is, niggas is mad I get more butt than ashtrays, which is a wonderful double entendre. This Biggie really spoke to me. So I'm walking down the street not paying attention, like, niggas is mad I get more butt than ashtrays. And I look up and there's brothers glaring at me. He goes, yo, motherfucker, who the fuck said you say nigga, white boy? I was like, do you know Jamal? And he was like, oh, you must be Neal. I heard a lot about you, nigga. I heard you got approved. Give me some love. And then he stole my iPod. Look. He had every right. You know, I had all the music backed up, because that's what white people do. To the cloud, white people, to the cloud.
You're listening to the Laugh or Else podcast.
Neal Brennan, everybody, and that is some funny shit. You gotta check out that entire special on Comedy Central. But as for me, that's gonna do it. I've kept it under an hour like I promised I was going to do 10 episodes ago. Well, this is only the 6th episode, but still, I got to get the time thing down. Make sure you check me out on Twitter. My name's @TIMM_3R. Check out the Laugh for Else Facebook page on Facebook, of course. And stay tuned, because next time when I come back, I'm going to have more comedians you should have heard of. I don't know if that's the tentative title of the show right now. I'll figure it out in post. But thanks for listening to the Laugh or Else podcast. I'm Tim Radicek.